Hey everybody, this is Brian.
Jason.
And you are listening to the mellow sounds at the Perfectly Screwed podcast.
Lay back, close your eyes, and relax and meditate.
Yes.
And let Brian's voice take you home.
Yes, let this voice just take it away.
No, you do have like a booming, soothing, deep, bassy voice.
I don't know.
Dude,
that's what people
probably
say.
Yeah, you probably could do like a guided hypnosis, like.
In my head, it doesn't sound bassy or deep at all.
Well, it's hard fucking
in my
tell
head, it
sounds like in your head. God.
Which voice am I listening to?
Man, that'd be awesome if you could capture a video of what is going on inside somebody's head.
No, really. I let a lot of what's in my head out, and
That's true.
Because clearly Arrow is a character, and clearly Arrow is in my head, and.
Right.
You know, we need to do a video interview with Arrow because of the fact a lot of people are watching the YouTubes only, and they've never listened to our podcast, which, first of all, I think is extremely rude. But, I mean, that's fucked up just to watch the YouTubes and not listen to the cast. But the thing is like, a lot of people don't realize who Arrow is. That are watching, legend. Right? Anybody who listened to the cast and then watch the videos know this. But like people who just watch the YouTube, they think I'm just doing stupid shit, and I'm like, I need to put a video of some type of interview with this jackass on YouTube, so there's a reference for these fucking morons.
Yeah. I agree.
I apologize for anybody I just insulted on our YouTube channel and just called you a fucking moron. I don't know that you are.
Yeah, he doesn't know you personally. I don't know why he would say that.
I apologize.
I do understand what he was getting at.
I am a horrible, horrible human being. I should be castrated immediately and then raped by a large syphilitic donkey. I apologize for all our beautiful listeners out there if I've offended anybody.
Dude. Do you
think
large donkey isn't enough? It must be syphilis.
Yeah, do you think that's too extreme?
I don't think so.
I just realized I thought we were losing power this whole time, right? And I'm hoping, it's still working. Good. I thought we were losing power, so I'm like, God dang, the screen is really dim. And I'm like, am I losing power or am I just fucking up? And I don't know how, but somehow I turned down the brightness.
Oh,
I don't know when. I guess it was when, I don't know. But somehow I turned down the brightness on the screen at a certain point, and I was really tripping out there for a minute. I really was.
Like you were losing your eyesight?
I was like, am I going blind? Is the screen going dark? And I'm looking down at the battery thing, and it's telling me it's fully charged. I'm like, why is it so dark? What the fuck is going on? And then my brain finally kicked in and said, why don't you check the brightness, dumbass?
You ever see Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Dude.
The whole you know what's funny? Me and my wife were just talking about Weekend at Bernie's the other day. And she said, you don't like Weekend at Bernie's? And I said, why, fuck no, I don't. And she goes, why? And I said, have you ever watched the stupid ass shit?
Hilarious.
No. Okay, dude. First of all, look, the guy is dead. Okay? They don't embalm this fucker. They don't powder him. They don't nothing. They're carrying this guy around all over the place. Within a few hours, this motherfucker's going to be stinking. Okay, within an hour or two after that, he's going to go into rigor fucking mortis. I mean, nothing about that movie is believable. By day 3, you're going to have rotting corpse at Bernie's.
It is one of the dumbest fucking movies. I'll give you that. But
I don't know. Bill and Ted's right up there too.
But there's a part where the dude walks in and he shoots Bernie, and Larry's standing there. He looks at him and he goes, "I'm blind."
Well, yeah.
I didn't see this happen, bud. I'm blind. Dude, it's man.
No,
I fucking watch that movie every day. I really do.
Oh my God, no.
It's that funny.
Now I will take this back because Weekend at Bernie's, albeit stupid as it is.
It is stupid.
And one of the most worthless pieces of cinema. I can't say it's the worst because Ernest made a lot of movies that are right up there battling with the worst comedy ever.
Right.
I mean, Ernest Goes to Wherever is just not something you want to watch. And if you was to watch that movie, the type of person that watches that movie probably isn't listening to this podcast, I would hope.
Well,
I mean, they might. I don't know. But that movie's horrible. That movie's shit.
They would be Arrow fans.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, Arrow probably has all of the Ernest movies on repeat. You know, he probably has a whole catalog of them. Those and Pauly Shore right underneath
what's your
him.
all-time favorite comedy movie?
Oh shit. I don't know. There's a lot that I do like. Office Space, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Neighbors. Both of those, Neighbors 1 and 2.
It's a pretty good movie.
Very, very funny. Even when you know the airbag scene is coming, every time he sits down and goes through the fucking ceiling, that's fucking classic, dude. That's just great.
Yeah.
I mean, Rocky Horror is a great comedy.
Yeah, you like
I don't know. There's a lot of comedy movies I like. You know me, it's weird. It's the weirdest thing. I love rom-coms. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Say what you will.
Oh, yeah.
I think rom-coms are hilarious. And I know what's going to happen, so it's not like I got to really think about the movie too much.
Yeah.
I watch rom-coms to not be able to think. And my wife goes, you know what's going to happen. It happens in every rom-com. Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to think about the plot of this movie.
There's usually always a hot chick.
Right. There's normally a pretty hot chick. And some of them are decent, you know.
Yeah. I like a rom-com.
Yeah. Comedies are great. But, you know, I like
Dazed
comedies.
And Confused.
Yeah, Dazed and Confused is one of my tops. Stoned Age. I love the Stoned Age.
Happy Gilmore is one of my
favorites. Happy Gilmore.
God damn.
Well, a lot of Adam Sandler movies I love. Like Happy Gilmore,
sure.
Mr. Deeds is good.
Yeah. Billy Madison.
Billy Madison was funny. Yeah, stupid but funny.
Yeah, you're right.
But no, the stupidest movie I think ever, and I don't know, Bill and Ted's right up there. But, I mean, Jesus. But Weekend at Bernie's 2 was worse than the first one. It makes the first one look like Oscar-worthy material.
2
Okay.
2 was
First
terrible.
of all, Bernie is still alive
and
completely intact, too. That's the amazing thing. He doesn't rot at all. And then he's got a voodoo spell cast on him that makes him dance and shit. It's like, what? Well, the first one was ridiculous, but this one's just retarded.
Back to the Future, is that I mean, that would be considered what? An adventure comedy? Maybe?
Action-adventure comedy, maybe. Sci-fi
it's
comedy.
Funny.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, it's not funny, like, ha-ha necessarily. There's a couple funny parts. I mean...
Oh, bro, yeah.
Yeah. Like...
Fucking Biff, oh my God.
Oh, yeah, Biff's stupid as shit.
Biff.
But I mean...
Like, why don't you make like a tree
and get
the hell out of here?
He goes a screen door on a submarine, too.
When Marty first goes back into the past, and he goes into the freaking restaurant.
Yeah.
And the dude behind the counter is like, hey bud, what'd you do? Jump ship? What's with the life preserver? And then Marty sits down and he goes, yeah, I'll have a Pepsi free.
Yeah.
If you want a Pepsi, you're going to pay for it, pal.
He goes, well, give me
a tab.
I can't give you a tab unless you order something. He goes, give me some without sugar. And he just sets him a black cup of coffee on the thing. Some without sugar. There you go. I'm going to shut up, you dumbass.
But dude, fucking, with the black guys get out of the car when they're taking their break at the school dance. And then he's, what are you spooks doing? He goes, who are you calling spooks? And they get out of the car and he goes, we don't want any trouble with any reefer addicts.
Yeah, reefer addicts. Dude, that movie, actually, that's one of the funniest fucking comedies ever is fucking Reefer Madness. That is the greatest piece of shit propaganda film I've ever seen. This dude smokes weed and trips the fuck out like he done three hits of acid. He He acts like he sniffed bath salts, for God's sakes. He's ready to eat people's faces off over some weed.
You're right, dude.
Bitch, I don't know what kind of weed.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of weed he was smoking, but Jesus fuck, I've never smoked weed in my life and done that.
The only fucking weed I could possibly think of that would do that would be the over-the-counter fucking shit they used to sell that was, dude, what, potpourri or lawn
potpourri.
It was, dude, I took a hit of that one fucking time. I ain't shitting you. I thought I was having a heart attack, dude.
Have you ever done salvia?
It felt like somebody was pressing in on my chest.
If you've ever done salvia, that fucking trip you the fuck out. You don't.
I never have.
It's bad.
Right.
It's very bad. It's really, really bad. Yeah, it makes you sick. It's horrible. Dude, I'm sick. But we're not talking about weed and salvia in the movies we like today, Jason.
No, we're not. Well, damn.
well, we could, I guess.
What are we talking about?
The Stayner brothers, actually. Well, originally I was going to talk about...
Not to be confused with the professional wrestlers, the Stayner brothers.
The Stayners.
This is the Stayner brothers.
The Stayner brothers. Oh, speaking of wrestling, did you hear Ric Flair went wrestling at 73?
Did he?
Yeah, I guess he won. I don't know if he won, but...
Well...
I didn't read on in the article.
If he's still wrestling, that is a win for everyone.
It's ridiculous.
It's
just ridiculous.
He's the nature boy.
I mean, come on, dog. No.
Right.
I mean, clearly, anybody who thinks, I'm sorry to hurt anybody's feelings out there who doesn't know this, but I'm going to tell you, if you think WWE is real, you're crazy.
Well...
I mean, just on the premise.
Obviously...
You can't punch a guy in the face 6 times and him not have a bruise.
And obviously the matches, who wins and loses, that's all predetermined, right?
All of it's...
I mean, it's a stage show.
Look, it's a stage show.
But...
Right. They don't plan on getting hurt for real.
There are some pretty fucking incredible shit that they do.
Oh yeah, they do some acrobatics. I'm not saying they're not athletes.
I was talking about
I'm just saying the violence itself is not real. Like they're not really punching that.
Well, yeah, but I was talking about this with somebody at work the other day. Remember Mankind, Mick Foley?
Yeah.
Dude, there was a cage match between him and the Undertaker, and fucking Mick Foley took like 26 headshots with a chair, dude. And never fucking put his hand up, not once.
Jesus.
He took everyone under the... he got goddamn...
Foley was
choke
nuts.
slammed.
Yeah, I remember.
The cage,
yeah, he wasn't supposed to go through the cage.
Onto a fucking pile of thumbtacks that were in the...
Yeah. Well, see, I remember that. Because the cage wasn't supposed to fall, he said.
Right.
And when he choke slammed him, the cage broke and he dropped 20 feet onto the mat on top of a steel cage. Yeah. Now, he did fuck himself up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at that point, he was fucked up, he said. But he
still
continued.
What I'm saying is some of it's...
if you
like you said, they're not fucking clocking each other.
No, they're not trying to hurt each other. But yes, they do get hurt because sometimes you're doing a stunt that doesn't go right. And it's live.
Right.
So whatever happens is going to happen.
And like, I mean, dude, you get thrown out of that fucking ring. I mean...
Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. If you hit the concrete, it's going to hurt.
Hurts.
Yeah, it's going to hurt.
But Stayner.
But anyways, the Stayner brothers, right? I was going to talk about Cary. Cary. I think his name's Cary.
Should we... Is this...
Yeah, Cary. His name's Cary.
Is it Cary?
Cary.
Not
Cary. Cary.
Not Cary.
No. I don't think. It could be. I guess you could call that Cary. Cary.
I would think it's Cary. I've never heard. It's rare that I hear
Cary. Well, I guess you could
Cary.
Cary. Yeah, we could call him Cary. Okay.
Cary Elway spells it Cary.
Oh, does he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll call him Cary. But I was going to talk about Cary, but really to get into the story of Cary, you got to get a little bit into the story of his brother Stephen.
Okay.
So, Stephen Gregory Stayner was born April 18th, 1965, and he was an American kidnapping victim. So, Stephen was 7 years old on December 4th, 1972, and was abducted in Merced, California, by child molester Kenneth Parnell. He was held by his abductor only 38 miles away in Mariposa County, California, and later in Mendocino, California, County, California, until he was 14. And then he escaped with another of Parnell's victims, Timothy White. Now, the thing about Stephen...
Okay, so he was abducted at age 7.
Right.
7 years later, he escapes. And is taking another victim with him.
Right. That's really why he ran away. Because, see,
dude, that's great. 7 years, man.
Well, see, this is the thing.
And think about from age 7 to 14, wow.
Well, not only that, Kenneth was clearly molesting him the whole time. The whole 7 years.
Oh, yeah, you would.
Yeah. He was a child molester, so he was obviously raping this Stephen kid repeatedly. But at the same time, he was just letting him do what he wanted. He let him smoke cigarettes. He let him drink. He was giving him alcohol, giving him whatever food he wanted. He only went to school when he wanted to. And, I mean, he was giving him free reign. So
he was letting him go to school.
Yeah, because he convinced Stephen he was his father. Because Stephen was 7 when this all started and would be like, I want to go back to my mom. And he would tell him, you don't have a mom. And he'd beat him up or whip him if he talked about his parents.
When Stephen got abducted, was his mom and dad together, do you know?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. God, they were together when they got back, when he got back. So really the only reason he ran away was because they abducted this little kid. They abducted another little kid, and he didn't want that little boy to go through what he had went through.
How old was the other boy, do you know?
Oh, shoot. Hold on. Let me... his name was Timothy White. I can look it up real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Timothy White was abducted in 1980 and held for several weeks. So,
and Stayner was abducted in what?
So, hold on. Timothy was born in 74. He was abducted in 80, so he was only 5.
And so how long was he with Stayner? Just a few weeks until they...
Yeah, a couple weeks, right. Wow. Not long enough for him to get molested.
Okay.
Yeah, so Stayner, basically they abducted this little 5-year-old, and Stayner didn't want anything to happen to him like that, because he remembered what he went through.
Right.
So that's why he bounced, because he knew the 5-year-old couldn't escape by himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there any details about how they escaped?
That's what I was getting to in just a minute.
God, that's just crazy, man. That's absolutely insane to think about. Thinking about being a kid that age, dude, and you're being held hostage basically as a sex slave. Only you're not, dude. That's the other thing. Like, I can't believe the abductor is just letting this kid go to school, and you know what I'm saying?
Well, see, after Parnell took Stayner, the very first night at the cabin, Parnell began molesting Stayner. Then he began actually raping and penetrating the little boy 13 days later, in December 17, 1972. When Stayner would complain and ask to go home, Parnell told him that your parents couldn't afford so many children anymore, so they gave me legal custody of you. So I'm your dad now.
Wow.
Yeah. He began calling the boy Dennis George Parnell. And he changed his birth date and all kinds of things to enroll him into school. He let Stayner drink at a young age, like I said, and he let him come and go as he pleased because he had fucked his head up so much and convinced him at a young age that, hey, your name is this. Don't you call yourself Stephen. Yeah, the boy didn't even really remember his own real name.
So, dude, in my opinion, this Parnell guy, anybody that does something like this, at the point that you are caught and you are convicted guilty, you should literally be walked out of the courtroom to the gallows and hung. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't understand why that isn't a thing. That should be that is. I can't think of anything more fucking sickening. Honestly.
Well, okay, for a period of 18 months, when Stayner was 9, Parnell actually had a girlfriend named Barbara Mathis who also raped him on 9 separate occasions and tried to get boys for Stayner so that they could rape them together. But it didn't work out, and then Mathis later said she had no idea of any of it. So as Stayner entered puberty and got older, Parnell didn't want him anymore because obviously he only liked young boys.
Right.
So once he hit 14, Parnell was trying not to fuck him anymore. So he went and tried to find another little boy. And Stayner said he could not bear having that other little boy, hurt. So he took it and ran.
Yeah.
So after returning to his family, though, Stayner had trouble adjusting because obviously his real parents wouldn't let him smoke and drink and do all that.
Yeah, he's going through withdrawals.
Yeah. And his dad wouldn't hug him anymore. His dad acted very weird around him because he knew he'd been, molested, and his dad was so, back then, people didn't know how to do or deal with homophobic stuff. So, and then in 1985, Stayner married a 17-year-old Jody Edmondson, and he had 2 children with her, Stephen Jr. and Ashley. He worked with child abduction groups, gave interviews about his kidnapping. He joined the Church of Latter-day Saints just before his death. He was also
Mormon?
Yeah, it's a Mormon church. And then he was living in Merced, California, and working at a pizza shop also right before his death. And then in 1989, he sustained a fatal head injury on his way home from work when a hit-and-run car collided with his motorcycle. Later, they found the driver who got in trouble, but yeah.
Man, you got to give him credit for being able to try to pick up the pieces, though, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, yeah. Steven did all right. Steven was okay.
Yeah.
Steven had a rough life, and basically...
And it was only 89. I mean...
Right.
He was
turned...
only, 23 when he died.
Right, yeah.
He's
just still young.
Still figuring it out, man.
But, I mean, he had a pretty good... I mean, he turned his life...
Thing.
Yeah, he turned his life around completely. To go through that kind of abuse and that kind of thing, and then to become a pretty normal person...
Yeah.
It's not... That's a hard thing to do, yeah.
It is. Absolutely.
Now, see, it's funny because the reason we're talking about Steven is because of his brother, Cary.
Right.
His older brother, Cary, and it's even crazier. It's actually kind of humorous almost that you have Steven who went through all this abuse and shit that should really fuck you up, and he turned out a relatively normal human being.
Yeah.
Was carrying down 2 jobs, had a family, had a wife, was,
in the church.
Doing what he should have done.
Abduction groups.
Right.
Yeah.
And randomly got hit by another criminal.
Yeah.
Whereas his brother, nothing happened to him.
So was Cary older or younger?
Cary's the older brother.
Okay.
But nothing happened to him. I mean, he was raised, by his father and everything. And raised by his family.
Yeah, I disagree, though, in this way. Dude, it would fuck me up, man. If my brother got abducted, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but
and then shows up 7 years later and tells me this horrific thing that he's been through, that would fuck me up.
And I give you, that took a lot of attention off of him and put all the attention on Steven, and he was probably jealous of the attention Steven was getting and stuff like that. But that still gives you no reason to be a serial killer.
No. Yeah, I'd be more devastated, crushed, devastated.
There's
My
a lot,
brother's fucking
but
gone.
I mean, in reality, Cary Stayner had it much easier than his brother.
Sure.
And turned out to be the worst of the 2.
It turns out to be a serial killer.
Yeah, a serial killer. That not only is a serial killer, but is quoted as saying, "If I was released, I would do it again immediately."
I mean, dude,
without a thought in my mind.
What complete opposite ends of the spectrum
exactly.
these 2 people produce.
And born of the same 2 people.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It almost tells you something, though, interesting. what was fucked up in that family? Because Stephen was gone till he was 14 and came out relatively normal, raised by a child molester.
Yeah.
This guy was raised by these two people and came out to be a serial killer. So something going on in that house ain't right.
It's a very good point.
I mean, when a child molester is a better father than the fucking two people raising the other guy, we got issues, man. There's something going on at the Stayner home.
We need to talk about this.
Yeah.
So Cary, when did he start killing?
I think he only killed once, to be honest, but it was a bunch of people at the same time. I think it was only one time.
Really?
It was in Yosemite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was between February and July of 1999. So it was all in the same year, though. Yeah, February and July.
99.
He didn't really kill that long.
How old was he?
Well, he was born in 61, so...
38.
Yeah, something like that. But, Cary Anthony Stayner. You know what? I haven't fucked up any words yet. I know. By the way, we didn't explain that either. We didn't explain it either.
Wow.
I know.
I mean, that's like when an announcer saying the field goal kickers never missed.
Mm-hmm.
Or, this guy shooting free throws, he's 100% free throws. Like, you can't say that, bro. You just jinx the fuck out of yourself.
Oh, I'll be fine.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. No, I wanted to say, we didn't even explain it. If this is the first episode you're listening to, episode 49.
Where have you been? And thank you.
Yeah, where have you been? But we have a game around here because we've realized that I fuck up occasionally. I trip over my own tongue, I say the wrong words, and, anyways, I digress. So if I fuck up a word, we recommend that you take a shot. Yes. If you're not driving or operating a plane or anything of that nature.
And only if and when Brian fucks up saying a word do you take a shot. Right. We're not actually taking shots whenever Brian fucks up. Because...
yeah, if I fuck up,
we would have people with alcohol fucking poisoning all over the place.
Like if I say Cary instead of Cary and Jason corrects me, that's not really me fucking up the word because I meant to say Cary. Yeah. I'm just an idiot.
There's some words that...
It's just stupidity. It's not me tripping over my tongue. But, it's stupidity. Well, stupidity doesn't count.
Pretty much, if you haven't played the game before, I can almost guarantee you by the end of the episode, you will have learned. He will have stumbled over at least one word.
Well, see, they haven't heard the one episode that we have backlogged, so I'm not going to say it. But that episode, I fucked up so much.
Dude,
If I post that episode really soon, you guys are going to be drunk off your asses within 20 minutes of that.
Yeah, we better post that on like 4th of July weekend or something.
Yeah, we got to post it somewhere
where everybody's drinking anyway.
Yeah. Put it on Memorial Day weekend. When is that? A couple weeks from now? Coming up? Yeah, put it on Memorial Day. People are getting drunk anyways.
Yeah, watching the Indy 500.
Right. Okay. So Cary Anthony Stayner was born on August 13th, 1961. He's an American serial killer and the older brother of kidnapped victim Stephen.
Dude,
Woo!
That was so close. I think you can almost count it because...
No, I did not.
American.
It was close.
Dude,
close.
He is proud to be an American.
I don't know how you say that word, but I call it American, baby.
It was well pronunciated.
Yes, I like to sound it out correctly. Mm-hmm. But he killed 4 women there between February and July of 1999. He killed a girl named Carol Sund.
This is all in the Yosemite National Park?
Mm-hmm. Right. Y'all in Yosemite National Park. In fact, that's what they called him, the Yosemite Killer, the Yosemite Park Killer.
Really?
But he killed...
I mean, judges, it's killed, it's not killed.
I said killed.
Yeah, half shot.
Jesus Christ, I don't know where that came from. It was almost like arrow just jumped out.
I know, bro. I told you, you jinxed yourself.
But anyways, he killed Carol Sund. her teenage daughter, Julie Sund. Yeah, that makes sense since, it's her daughter. Last name the same. I'm actually reading it going, oh, they have the same name. In my head, that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah. And then she had a teenage traveling companion, Silvina Peloso. And then he also killed a naturalist that I guess worked at the park named Joey Ruth Armstrong. So he killed all these people. I'm assuming he killed them all at the same time.
Why would it say between February and July?
Yeah,
I would think
maybe that's when they were trying to find these people or something.
But it sounds like the three of them he had to have killed at the same time.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. At least 3 of them, because they were all together. I mean, it's
Mom,
not like
daughter, and her travel companion.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the other one was separate.
He was hired in '97 as a handyman at Cedar Lodge Motel in El Portal. Portal? Portal. Would you call that Portal?
Portal.
Portal?
I would say Portal, but it may be.
Yeah, but it's L. So is it El Portal?
El Portal.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, that's what I thought.
I like that.
El Portal, California, just outside the Highway 140 entrance to Yosemite National Park. They could have just said it was a town outside of Yosemite. Like, nobody needs to know El Portal. Anyways. So between February and July of '99, he murdered 2 women and 2 teenagers. Yeah. Okay, so the first 2 victims, Carol Sund and Peloso, were found in the trunk of the charred remains of Sund's Pontiac rental car. The bodies burned beyond recognition and were identified only using dental records. A note was sent to police with a hand-drawn map indicating the location of the 3rd victim, Sund's daughter, Julie. The top of the note read, "We had fun with this one." Investigators went to location depicted on the map and found the remains of Julie, whose throat had been cut. They began interviewing employees of the lodge where the first 3 victims had been staying before their deaths. One of the employees they actually interviewed was Stayner, but he was not considered a suspect at that point because he had no criminal history and remained completely calm during the interview. They then found the decapitated body of Joey Ruth Armstrong, and eyewitnesses said they saw a blue 1972 International Scout parked outside the cabin where she'd been staying. Detectives traced the vehicle to Stayner, which led to him becoming the prime suspect. FBI agents John Boyles and Jeff Rink found Stayner staying at Laguna del Sol Nudist Resort in Wilton.
That's where they found Stayner?
Yeah. He was arrested, taken to Sacramento during questioning. During his interrogation, Stayner shocked the agents when he confessed not only to the decapitation of Armstrong, but to all the murders in Peloso and of the Sons. He also confessed to sending the map where Julie Sund's body was. And then his vehicle yielded a bunch of evidence linking him to it. Stayner claimed after his arrest that he had always fantasized about murdering women since he was 7 years old, long before the abduction of his brother. See, what I think is, I think that, first of all, I believe that Cary did probably fantasize about hurting women. But I think what it was he wanted to be famous. See, he wanted to be like his brother. Because when his brother came back, it probably pulled all the attention off him completely. His parents had to pay more attention to Stephen. The media was all about Stephen. Everybody was about Stephen. And I'm sure at school, everybody was about Stephen.
And everybody would have been all about Stephen when he first got abducted, too.
Yeah, right. So everybody was about Stephen then. When he came back, everybody's about him. And not only that, it would have also pulled all the attention off of Cary at school and everywhere else, because everywhere he went from that moment on in his life, they'd be like, "Oh, you're the brother of that dude. Oh, you're the brother of that." And he probably heard that his whole life.
Yeah.
He never amounted to shit. And he just wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
And he'd already wanted to kill people, so he was like, you know what, fuck it. I can kill these bitches, live that fantasy I've been wanting to live,
And then
I'll be famous for the rest of my life.
Yeah. It's very possible, yeah, absolutely.
So, Cary was born and raised in Merced, California, which we said, and his 7-year-old brother Stephen was kidnapped by child molester Kenneth Parnell. That happened when Cary was only 11. And Cary said at 11 he felt really neglected at that point because his parents grieved over the loss of Stephen and treated him completely different. And then when Stephen escaped, I said Skeven. There's one. There's a shot. There's a shot. Skeven. When Skeven escaped.
Bottoms up for Skeven.
Shit. It was almost a perfect episode.
I mean.
So when Skeven when he got away from Parnell and returned home in 1980, he received a massive media attention. You know what? He received something massive from Parnell too. I mean,
well, we don't know that for sure.
That's true. It could have been tiny. We're not sure.
We're hoping for, in Stephen's sake,
that it was tiny and not massive. Yeah, that was horrible. I apologize. That was wrong. Was that wrong?
Should I have not done that?
Should I have not?
I got to plead ignorance on this one.
Should I have not made a pedophile joke?
I got to tell you, if somebody would have told me.
I mean, if somebody
and that type of thing was frowned upon.
Yeah, the pedophile joke should not be made. I love Seinfeld. Anyways, no, the thing is, like, when he got out, they also made a book and a TV movie about Stephen called I Know My First Name is Stephen, all about his abduction and everything. So, it had to weigh hard on this guy. And then, of course, let's not forget, then Stephen dies at a very young age. So it's you get abducted and all the attention's taken off of Cary. Nobody cares about Cary because his poor brother's abducted. Then he gets back home. Just when things are starting to settle down, Stephen's back home. Now all the attention's back on Stephen again. Cary's forgotten. Nobody cares about him. And then Stephen dies at a very young age, which, again, puts all the... right back on Stephen. Who cares about Cary, right?
You're absolutely right.
And then, Cary, the following year, right after Stephen died, right, in 1989, in 1990, Jesse, Cary's uncle, who he was living with at the time, was murdered.
Cary was living with Uncle Jesse?
Yeah.
And Uncle Jesse got murdered?
Yeah.
No shit.
And Cary also claims that Jesse had molested him his whole life. So,
Wow.
He attempted suicide in 91. He was arrested for possession of marijuana and methamphetamines in 97. But those charges were eventually dropped. So, let's see here.
Man, I mean, I think you might be right, man. Honestly, I think...
Well, see, the problem...
He wanted attention. I think he wanted attention. And he had, the fantasy of murdering women. Mm-hmm. And I think it just... One day he snapped and he said, fuck it.
Well, he had to be tried 2 different ways, too. Because Armstrong was the naturalist that worked at... Or the naturalist. Did I say naturalist? Naturist? Yeah, either way.
I think those would both work.
Yeah,
really.
She worked at Yosemite. And he killed her at Yosemite. So therefore, Yosemite is federal land. So he had to be tried in federal court for that. So Stayner was tried in federal court for Armstrong's murder, since it occurred on federal land. He pled guilty to premeditated first-degree murder to avoid a possible death sentence, and guilty to felony first-degree murder, kidnapping resulting in death, and attempted aggravated sexual abuse resulting in death. During the sentencing hearing, Stayner stood in the courtroom when he suddenly broke down in tears and apologized. I wish I could take it back, but I can't, he said. I wish I could tell you why I did such a thing, but I don't even know myself. I'm so sorry. I wish there was a reason, but there isn't. It's senseless. Leslie Armstrong, Armstrong's mother, started crying as she listened to Stayner and said afterwards that she believed his apology was genuine. Stayner was sentenced to life in prison without parole, in federal prison. He pled not guilty by reason of insanity to the other murders in the state court. His lawyers claimed that the Stayner family had a history of sexual abuse and mental illness, manifesting itself not only in the murders, but also in his obsessive-compulsive disorder, and his request to be provided with child pornography in return for his confession. Dr. Jose Arturo Silva testified that Stayner had obsessive-compulsive disorder, mild autism, and paraphilia. He was nevertheless found sane and convicted of all 3 murders on first degree with special circumstances and 1 count of kidnapping by a jury on August 27, 2002.
What's paraphilia, do you know?
Paraphilia is a psychological term if you want to molest children, bro. Like, a pedo.
Pedophilia.
Well, yeah, but when the psychological term is paraphilia.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can look it up to be sure.
A condition characterized by abnormal sexual desires.
Yeah. Sexual perversion, sexual deviation.
Or dangerous activities.
Right.
Okay, I gotcha.
So, yeah, if it does, most of the time it's just used for pedophiles. But, I mean, any kind of weird sexual desire, like S&M could technically be paraphilia.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's
like
just
choking yourself while hanging yourself
while masturbating. Yeah, that's paraphilia. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
If you like to rape and like what Ed Kemper did, cutting women's heads off before he fucked them. We all have strange.
Or what was it, a mundo or something?
Yeah, a mundo.
Take the severed head.
Yeah, that's what he was
doing. Give yourself a blowjob.
Yeah, that's what he was
always
doing.
fun.
Yeah, each to their own.
Absolutely, hey.
But he was in 2002, even though he said he was crazy, they said he wasn't. So he was sentenced to death. And he's been on death row at San Quentin Penitentiary in California ever since. So as of right now, he's still on death row. I mean, they're going back and forth because at any time, of course, he could be taken away from death row because, if California says no death penalty. But see, this is the thing. He was trying to get away without the death penalty. And I'm telling you, that's why I'm saying it was all about fame. Okay, first of all, I think the dude had gotten butt fucked probably when he was younger. Had a little paraphilia going on, whatever. Maybe he liked to be butt fucked occasionally. Maybe he was bold. Maybe he hated women. I don't know what the fuck he did.
Yeah.
But see, he raped all of those women. And like you said, it was in the same fucking day. He killed those 3 and the naturalist all in the same day.
Wow.
And raped them all in the same day. And, well, actually it doesn't say he killed them all in the same day. It says he molested them all in the same day. So he could have took some of them, kidnapped them, tied them up, had his fun with them, because he said, this one we had fun with.
Yeah.
So they know he killed the naturalist and the mom in the same day.
Yeah.
The other 2,
they burned
the car.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
but the other 2, he might not have killed till later. I mean, he could have kidnapped them, tied them up in their room. Nobody would have came by and noticed them if nobody reported them missing. So he said he had fun with the daughter, so God only knows what he did with her,
Yeah.
I mean, they know he had sexual relations, though, with all of these girls.
Okay.
So, he raped all of them and killed every single one of them. Whether, he did it all in the same day or did it at different times, he still did it, so.
And it was all right, and if it wasn't the same day, it was in the...
Well, within a few days.
Yeah,
it had to be, because, that's why I don't understand why they give that huge time frame.
Yeah,
it's
that's weird, yeah.
It's like, obviously, it was within a few days, what I'm saying, of each other. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
No, the whole thing is wild, man. It really is. But I mean,
if you look at his face, dude, he's almost happy to be going to jail. Because it's like, I'm finally getting the attention.
Dude, he does. He looks like a fucking school yearbook picture.
Yeah, he looks like a school teacher. Although, I can tell he's a pedophile. The moment looking at him, I was like, yeah, pedophile, bub. I mean, there's just some people you can look at and you're like, obviously.
Yeah, it's true.
Clearly you like to fuck young kids. Clearly. Yeah. No, but yes, it's weird as fuck. You got one brother who, like I said, was normal, pretty much, after going through horrendous shit.
Yeah.
And this guy grew up relatively normal. I mean, he says he was molested by his Uncle Jesse, but who knows if he really was.
Right.
And obviously you weren't molested too fucking hard, dog, because you were back living with him when you were 18.
It's hard, yeah.
I mean, come on.
I could be wrong. This could be judgmental of me, but it's hard for me to believe a serial killer.
Well, yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah. Clearly.
I would say Uncle Jesse was innocent until proven guilty. I'll just put it that way.
Right. And who knows, actually how old Uncle Jesse was murdered.
Right.
They said he was murdered and this guy wasn't a suspect. Okay.
Right.
But I say, maybe Uncle Jesse was just practice for later rounds. That's what I say.
Yeah, it's just weird because, like you said, I mean, Cary had the more normal circumstances.
Right. You would think
and you could understand if Stephen became a serial killer.
Yeah.
You wouldn't condone it. You wouldn't excuse it.
But it would make sense.
But it would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cary doesn't make much sense.
No, there's no reason.
Unless what you said made a lot of sense to me when you said that it was the attention. All the attention was on Stephen so many times and in pivotal points of Cary's life, and he just couldn't deal with it.
Right.
And he needed his moment of fame.
Well, not only that.
And he wasn't going to get it any other way.
The other weird thing is he was born in 1961, didn't commit any murder till 99. So he was, what, if I'm doing math right, almost 40?
Yeah.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
Usually serial killers do something early, way earlier than that. Killing animals, something. Not too many serial killers start their serial killing career when they're 39 years old.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if if he had done anything and just didn't fess up to it, or.
I mean, that's possible, but he's never been kind of linked to anything either.
Right. And you would think because he was so open about those killings that had he
you look at
done anything in the past, he would have said it.
Yeah, you look at most serial killers. Bundy. He started way into his youth.
Yeah.
He was killing for a lot of years.
Most of them planned and led up to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were thinking about it real early. And
there was something that led up to it.
Wasn't it Kemper that picked up 100 hitchhikers or something like that until he finally...
No, Kemper, I think... Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Up tons of them. But Kemper was also the one that convinced the chick to open the door and get back in the car.
Dude, that's the most unbelievable.
Then raped her and murdered her, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I forgot.
But,
that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I mean, for anybody that don't know, that is insane. This dude abducted a woman.
Yeah.
Drives her out into the fucking middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's Kemper.
Has a gun.
Yeah.
Is gonna fucking kill this bitch. Gets out of the truck. Right? Gun still in the truck. Correct?
Yeah, she had the gun. He got out
of
the truck.
And the keys
are still
in the truck. And the door is... Both doors are fucking locked.
Right.
This bitch is locked.
In a
vehicle. With the keys and a gun.
Right.
And the dude that abducted her...
Convinced her to open the door.
Convinced her to open the door, where he proceeded then to kill her.
Yeah.
That is...
Well, Kemper's also the one...
It's amazing.
Kemper's the one also that said...
It's amazing.
Kemper said, when I see a pretty girl walking down the street, I have two thoughts in my head. The first one is, I'd like to take her out to dinner, show her a good time. The other one is, I wonder what her face would look like on a pike.
Yeah.
Her head on a spike. Yeah. And I'm like,
oh my god, I would do absolutely anything to know what he said to that chick.
Yeah. Dude, how crazy do you have to be walking down the damn road and see a woman and there's two thoughts in your head. One is, I'd really like to get with that girl, and the other is, I'd really like to cut her head off. What? What? I mean, Jesus. How fucked up are you?
I mean, I can't get a goddamn girl to let me take her to dinner.
You don't think you could talk her into opening the car door?
This dude talked her basically into suicide.
Yeah, he talked her into murdering herself, yeah. I mean, this is, again...
Well done, sir.
No, this is after... See, this is what people don't get. See, you're leaving out the best part. This is also after he drove her to where she didn't want to go, A.
Yeah.
Then hit her with the pistol.
Yes, that's right.
Right. So he pistol whipped her. Then he got out of the truck, accidentally locked himself out of the truck, and she came to after being hit with the pistol, and he still convinced her to open the door. Yeah, whatever he said to her, I mean, you got to be pretty fucking charming to pull that one off.
That's it.
I'm not opening the door.
Incredible.
I'm not. No, I don't give a damn how charming you are. I'm starting the truck. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
At the very least.
You would think.
The first thing I might do is shoot you about 3 times in the face. Then I might start the truck and leave.
Yeah.
Right.
No, for sure. I would. Yeah.
Right.
I would fucking shoot. Right. I don't know. No, I would probably. I would take off, and once I got some distance, then I would roll down the window and shoot the motherfucker.
This is my question. When he first realized he locked himself out of the truck, why was he even talking this bitch into opening the door? I would have took the nearest rock and busted the fucking window, grabbed my gun.
I thought about that too. I think maybe as a challenge.
Mate.
As a challenge?
Hell.
Can I get this chick to do this?
Jesus. Yeah, but you're taking a lot of risks. Well, I guess also he just didn't care because...
Well, that
at a certain,
expensive to get the window replaced.
Well, not only that, when he actually killed the person he really wanted to kill, which was his mother, he just turned himself in because at that point he pretty much accomplished what he really wanted to do. Right. All of these other women were pretty much just practice.
Yeah.
Right.
Very true.
Right. He was Edmund Kemper. It was part of. He's almost like a Norman Bates character. Not quite as much, because really Ed Gein takes the cake on that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ed Gein was completely out of his mind and thought he was his mother and heard his mother speaking to him. In fact, he walled off, what did we say when we were talking about Gein? He walled off a whole area of his house.
Yeah. And
kept it exactly like his mom did with a stuffed fucking dead person. Yeah. Woohoo.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you got to realize you're insane when you're like making lampshades out of human nipples and such.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's what it was, dude.
Yeah. He made a belt out of ladies' nipples that he got out of the graveyard, yeah. Made lampshades and fucking his whole couch was upholstered in human skin, yeah. He had faces hanging on the wall like paintings. I'm like, whoo, you are way past gone, ain't you, brah? Ain't you? I mean, when they gave him insanity and locked him in a mental home, I actually applauded that because there is no fucking way when you're doing that shit that you're anywhere near sane. You have left insanity at the back door years ago.
If you're using human nipples to make belts.
Yeah. When you're digging up corpses in the middle of the night.
At that point, yes, I can't argue with insanity.
No, neither can I.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Because everybody knows that human nipple belts aren't worth a fuck.
No.
And you're not going to keep your pants
Well, first of all, I'm sorry. Look, dude, when you are digging up a corpse, and this is for anybody listening out there, I try to help our listening audience. I try.
Give instruction, advice.
Yes. If you find yourself in the middle of the evening digging up old corpses, or even if you're not digging them up, if you're just going to the morgue and getting them, whatever you're doing, if you have an old corpse and you're taking the skin off of it and making belts and chairs and lampshades out of it, I would suggest you go seek professional help.
That's just a tip from your Uncle Brian.
You're right. Just a tip from the Perfectly Screwed podcast.
Right.
Please go seek professional help. It's like I said, if you are a completely worthless piece of shit and you're at home right now in the middle of the day using your parents' Wi-Fi while smoking crystal meth, I beg of you, either go get a vasectomy or please wear a condom. Because the world needs no more of you. Okay?
We don't want you reproducing.
No. I don't care what you do with your own life.
Whatever you gotta do, right.
Just don't make any more of you, please. Because the rest of us in society are tired of supporting you and your habits. I was going to say your habits, but I thought...
You mean your...
I thought...
You wanted to give our listeners another shot before we said goodbye.
I hate to only leave them with one.
Yeah,
I fucked up once, and I figured I can't have a perfect episode already, so might as well just give them one more shot.
Yep.
One more for the road. One more for the road. I do. I think about others. That's why I put those public service announcements. There's another shot!
Line them up!
Line them up! That one was not on purpose at all. Neither was the other one. But, yeah, I like to give people, some advice, help them out a little bit. I'm tired of fucking worthless fucks producing children just because they can. Again, people need a license to fuck. There should be a license to reproduce. Fuck overturning Roe versus Wade, okay? Because look here, you know what you're doing? Do you get it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I've got to say something about our United States government. We cannot overturn Roe versus Wade. It's the only thing saving society. Because look, now you're not only giving license for morons to have more children. You're making it so they can't get rid of them if they're smart enough to want to. Do we really want the next generation of children raised by people that have to raise them? No.
Right.
I'd prefer them raised by people who want to raise them. I'm just putting it out there.
Right.
For the love of God. Sometimes abortion is the only thing saving society from mutants.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus. See, me, I don't believe in abortion. Personally, as a personal preference, I think abortion is wrong. But I believe that this country is choice. I believe in choice. So therefore, I believe that you have the right to choose whatever you want to do. And you have the right to apply your own moral code to situations. And we should not dictate what other people's moral code should be.
I just really would like to know at what point a person becomes a person. At what point does the soul enter the body? You right? I mean, because I'm like you. I don't agree with abortion, but say within the first month that a woman is pregnant, is the soul entered that fetus's body? I don't know, because if it hasn't, then I can say, yeah.
Okay, but even if the soul has, if you believe,
then it's murder.
Well, yeah, but this is the whole thing. Even if it has, then the soul is still going back to either a God, so it's going to heaven, so it never has to deal with any of the bullshit it would have had to deal with on earth.
That's true.
Or if you believe in reincarnation, the soul just goes back and has to recycle it again. So either way,
yeah, very true.
The soul is just going to a better place.
Very true.
Without having to go through all the bullshit to get there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, on a moral, ethical standpoint, again, I believe in choice. See, that's where I go at it. This is the point. I think everything that's a law that's made against personal choice and personal freedom should not be made. Okay, like I've said, if you want to do crystal meth, heroin, or whatever you want to do, if you can afford it, and you're not hurting anybody else to get the substance, like robbing people or doing anything that could... Seriously, if you're just hurting yourself, then you should be allowed to do it. If you cannot hurt other people, or if it's a victimless crime, it should not be a crime. Yeah. Period. So abortion, to me, would be a personal choice. Now, of course, there should be limits on it, like they, have. Where obviously you can't abort it a month before you have the baby.
Right.
And I think there should be a lot more counseling done before a woman gets abortion, to talk to her to make sure it's exactly what she wants. But no, they shouldn't just eliminate it, period. Because that's a very slippery slope.
Yeah, it is.
Because now you're eliminating Plan B from the pharmacy shelves. I mean, if the federal government takes away that option and leaves it up to the states, then certain states you're not going to allow abortion or Plan Bs or anything else. I mean, it's not going to really stop it, because I'm sure there'll be a state right next to you that allows abortion, and she's going to be able to go to that state and get an abortion.
Sure.
You can't stop her from getting an abortion. You can just stop it from happening in the state you're in.
Right. Yep.
It's not going to stop it, because certain states are going to legalize it. Like, I'm sure California would have it legal. Ohio would have it legal. Democratic states are definitely going to have it legal. So, yeah, you might have Indiana, Kentucky, and a few of them saying no, but it's just going to be like weed. Yeah, certain states are going to say no, but certain states are going to say yes, so it doesn't matter. They'll just drive.
I'm running up to Michigan Saturday to grab a sack and get an abortion.
Right. You're not stopping anything.
Sure.
I mean, but if that makes your conscience clear, then okay.
Right.
Now, whether or not it's right for the United States government to put that as a right, I don't know if I agree with that either, because I don't know if Roe versus Wade is right, because the thing is it really our federal government's responsibility to say that's a right across the whole country? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's weird, man.
It probably should be based on up to the states. But, that's neither here nor there. But
like you said, it should be a choice. You should have the choice.
Right. Well, I think you should have a choice on anything.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, you should have the choice to do it. I mean, if you want to kill yourself, that's your business.
Yeah.
But at the same time, again, we can't just, if you have the choice to do something, you just can't expect everybody to come and narco your ass every time you OD, motherfucker.
No shit.
Right. I mean, you get two. In my plan, if you're choosing to do heroin or cocaine or whatever, you get two.
Yeah, and then I'd give you one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can fuck up a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, you're more lenient than me.
Well, see, the other thing is people would probably OD a lot less if it was legal, because then you're getting it from a reputable person like a dispensary, okay? And at that point, you're getting good heroin, not cut with God knows what.
Right.
I mean, that's normally what kills people. It's not the heroin, it's the fentanyl they're cutting it with, or the bath salts,
or whatever. Or if they just don't cut it right. I mean,
right. If you don't cut it right,
heroin's one of those things where, I mean, you have to fucking.
Well, it's the same thing with coke.
You have to dilute it a fucking certain amount.
Right.
Like if you get too much concentration of heroin, you are dead.
Correct.
Immediately.
Right. Well, same thing with coke. If it's not made right, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Burn your fucking brain out.
Yep.
So, yeah. But see, that's why I said these drugs should be legal. Because then you have people who make it... a lot
to be safer said for that, too.
It would be a lot safer.
I think that a lot less, like you said, I think there would be a lot less people... I think a lot less people would have the temptation to use it.
Oh, yeah. Because it wouldn't be as taboo.
Because there's a lot of it has to do with the stigma of it, man.
Right. And it wouldn't be as taboo, so it wouldn't be no big deal.
It wouldn't be as curious.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think any logical person ain't taking heroin really anyways, unless you're just crazy.
Or fucking dying of something. You know what I mean?
Well, normally what happens is they get addicted to heroin because they start on Lortabs.
Yep.
And because then they can't find Loratabs. Well,
exactly
it's hard to find Loratabs, but it's real easy to find heroin.
No, that's exactly what happened. Actually, that was when a big epidemic of heroin overdoses started. Was when they fucking cracked down on opiates.
Well, think about it, dude. In the 90s, when opiates came out, dude,
Oh,
they would hand them to
dude,
you
it was
for
crazy.
everything. I could go literally in 96, 97, I
Crazy.
could go right to any doctor
Yep.
and say, man, my fucking knee has been killing me.
Yep.
He'd be like, let me write you a script for 5s real quick. Here you go. If you need a refill, here we'll go give you a refill too. Dude, they would give you 13 refills of 10s because you stubbed your damn toe.
Yep.
Oh, here you go.
Yep.
I remember when Oxycontin came out, you could get it for damn near anything.
Yep. And then they fucking.
I dislocated my shoulder. These motherfucker gave me Oxycontin.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't take Loratabs, because I've told you before I'm allergic.
Mm-hmm.
But Oxycontin's fine. I can take it. It makes me sick a little bit, but I can take it. They gave me Oxycontin for fucking, like, dislocating my shoulder. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, it feels good now.
Yeah, dude, there was
What the hell are you doing?
fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah, they did it all. Well, anyways, this has been episode 49. I hope you guys liked it. And anything else you would like to tell them before we exit off into the wild blue yonder?
I don't think so. I mean, just, click like.
Yeah.
Give us a review.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. If you play us, I don't care. If you
you're
like it,
listening to
actually
us,
tell people.
Somebody else.
Yeah, tell somebody else. Get somebody else to listen to us. That's what we really.
We love you. We appreciate you. And
Yeah, if you
we're
like
having
us.
a good day. And you didn't have to take too many shots this episode.
Right.
So, have a couple beers and relax and enjoy your Sunday evening.
All right. See y'all next time.
Later.